Welcome students, welcome to Python programming class. Today's online session we are going to discuss about accessing text files using Python programming code. So what is accessing text files means how to write data in a file and how to read data in a text files. So when you create software application using Python program, sometimes you want to store data in a text files. Sometimes you want to load data from text files. Okay. So as a software developer, you should know how to store data in a text file as well as how to read when it is needed. Okay. Usually in text files, the data is in character format. Okay. You can store character, numbers, you can store multiple lines of text. uh, you know that, right? The text files, right? Normal text files, txt files. Okay. So here today we are going to see how we can write program to manipulate the text in the file, okay, as well as reading and writing process. Okay, right. So we'll start with we can directly start with how we can open a file and we can do writing and reading process. In Python, there is a function called open function. Here you can see the function syntax. Okay, right. So can you see the screen here, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there is a there is a built-in function called open. This function takes two parameters. One is file name and the mode of operation. The mode can be R or A or W or X. So when you give R mode, you can read data. You can only read data from a file. You cannot write data to the file. Okay, and we have append mode and write mode. That is A and W. Append is for adding new data to the existing data. Okay, you can write data in append mode as well as in W mode also you can write data. Okay, and there is a difference between R and A and W is in R, if the file is not exist, you will be getting error. When you open a file for reading, you will be getting error if the file is not available in the directory. But in A and W mode, if the file is not available, it will create a new file. Okay. So that is a, because we are doing writing process, right? So it will create a new file and it will open the file for writing. Okay. And we have a X mode as well. X mode is for creating a new file. Okay. Creates the specified file. If the file name is already exists, you will get error because you can't create a same file again. Okay. Normally in Windows operating system or Mac operating system, you can't create a file again with the same name, right? So when you use X mode, that file, if the file is already exists, you will get error. Okay. So this function is used for doing all the operations like reading and writing to the files. Okay. So let's see the functions, various additional functions. First, we discuss open function. Additionally, we have a close function is there to close the file, and write function for writing a new data to the file, and read for reading. And we have additional function called read line for reading a line of text from the file. Okay. So let's talk about how to read a file content. So we can use read function after opening a file using open function. We can call read function. So the read function returns the entire content as a string data. Okay. Look at this code. F equal to open the file name, comma the mode R, and we can call f dot read. It returns a data that is a complete file content in a string format. We can print or we can iterate characters using for loop and all. Okay, so let us see one example using Google Colab. So here in Google Colab, you can see there is a drive symbol is here. This is actually the location you can create files. Okay, so just you have to click here and you have to wait for a few seconds and it will open all the files, and you have to right click and you can create a new file. Okay, so you can give a name of the file, for example sample.txt. Okay, and wait till the file is created successfully. Now look at this file is created, sample.txt. You can double click this file. It is open in the another tab. Here I'm going to store some data. For example, I'll go some paragraph from Karunya website. Okay, we have a paragraph, this much paragraph, right? So this paragraph I'll copy this. Okay, and you can paste over here. Okay, so now we are getting so many content. This content we can split and we can make it multiple lines. Okay, so we can see how to read entire content like this. Okay, right. So this many content we have stored in this file. Okay, so you can save this file. Control S, and file saved successfully. And the file is available here. Okay, I'll just keep it right side, and here we can write the code. Okay, so we can start with the F. One variable we have to create. F stands for file object. File object. Okay, so we are going to open the file using open function. The file name is sample.txt, and there is a mode is called R. Once you open the file, we can able to read the content data. You can store the data in a data variable by using f.read. Okay, so after reading you will get a entire data in a string type, string format. Okay, so we can use print statement and you can display the data, right? So this is a code. Okay, so when you run this program, now look at this, the entire content of this sample.txt file. Okay, it is available. It is coming as output of this programming code. Okay, so it is like this. We can able to read any content from a text file. Okay, so this code is for reading data from a file. Okay. So for reading, we have to use read function. Read function returns a single string object which contains the entire file content. Okay. Right. So after reading file content, we can access character by using for loop also. Okay. So this already you know this for this logic because we discuss in the string concept. Okay. In string concept, you know, we can access character by character after character by character by using for loop, right? So the same code I'll put again, and after reading this content, we can do like this for character. Each and every character we can access like this data colon, and you can print every character. So after reading the file, it is all about string handling only, all because we'll be getting a string, right? So you can process using character by character like this. See, the entire paragraph we are accessing using character. W, E, space is also character, okay? And we are getting P, R, O, V, I, D, okay? So every character we can iterate through for loop. Okay, so once it is iterated, we can further filter also. For example, if you want to only show the vowels, okay, we can write logic for filtering only vowels. Okay, so let's talk about that code. So I am going to write here the vowels code. Okay, so here we can store vowels. All vowels we can store in a variable. For example, all small letter, cap letter. Okay, right? So now I'm going to check. I want to display only vowels from that sample.txt file. Okay, so how to do that? We can access character by character from this data, and we can check if this character is available in vowels or not. There's an operator called in operator. Okay, so we discussed in the previous topic string handlings. Okay, in operator will check whether this character is exist in the inside another string. Okay, got it. So now look at this ch. If it is available in this sequence, only it will be printed. Okay, So we can print only that character. Let's see how many vowels we are getting. Okay, so this many vowels. Okay, from the paragraph we are getting only vowels. Okay, and we can also count these vowels. You know how to count, right? Like you have to use some counter variable. Okay, for example, let's do counting also. Okay, the same program we can do count the vowels. Okay, so to count the vowels we have to use some counter variable is equal to 0. If the character is a vowel, we can increment this count plus equal to 1. Okay, then finally the outside print statement, you can display the total number of vowels like this. Okay, count. So we are getting 108 vowels from this paragraph. Okay, got it. So this is about how to read content from text file and how to manipulate the characters. Read the content line by line also using for loop. Okay, so for what you have to do is we can directly say for a variable in f, that particular object, file object we can give, and that line we can print so that it will read automatically line by line. Okay, there is no need to use read function. Okay, so let's see that in this program code how to do that. See, here we are using read function, right? Without that, we can use for loop. We can read a line of text. So I'm going to create a variable called line, okay, in f file object, okay. So we can use print line. Now look at this. Every line is uh, actually one by one. It is actually leading line by line. Okay. First, it will read the first line. We provide the best infrastructure, and the next line. Okay. Total 6 lines are there, right? So 6 times this for loop will be repeated, and we'll be getting the entire content. Okay. So this is the next topic: how to read line by line. And there is a function called read line function. This function is used to uh, the same functionality. We can read a line of data. It depends on how many times you are calling. If you call one time, it will read the first line. If you call that this function again, it will read second line. So at a time it will read only one line of text, okay, from the beginning. Okay, so when you repeat this process, you can read the entire content of the file. Okay, look at this example. File open, some file from my D drive. I'm calling file dot read line. So it will read first line, that this is a text. So here it is, this is a text. Okay, and if you call this that same function again one more time, it will read second line. So if you want to call 5 lines, what you have to do, you have to call 5 times that read line function. You have to repeat. Okay, so you can able to see that all the lines are actually printed successfully. Okay, so this is the additional function. If you want, you can use it, but most commonly used function is the read function. Okay, the next function is read. This read line function, we can use it with the while loop also. Okay, so how to use that? Let's with an example I'll explain. So if you want to use with the while loop, okay. So first we have to read the first line, and we have to store in a variable line variable. Okay, so f dot read line. Then we can trigger infinite loop by using while true boolean variable. Infinite loop we can check, and we can print the line. Okay, first already we got first line, right? So we can display the print first line of text, then ending with the new line. Okay, actually ending with space. Okay, right. Now we can check if line is equal to empty, we can stop. we can break this. Otherwise, we can continue. Okay, got it? How will you continue? We can read the next line by using line equal to f dot read line. Okay, right. So hope it's clear, right? So here in this example, so what I'm trying to say is using read line function, how to read the entire content of the file. Okay, like using the while loop. Okay, so first we have to read the first line using read line, then go to infinite while loop, print the first line, then check whether this first line is empty or not. If it is empty, we have to break it. Okay, otherwise we have to further read. So the line equal to further you have to read the next line. Okay, so this while loop will be keep on reading the line till the line variable becomes empty. Okay, so you'll get the all the lines will be accessed. Okay, so here you can see that. I think this is not needed. I think. Okay, can just remove this. Let's see. Okay, if you remove one empty line, is we are getting only empty line. So what you can do is you can put like this. Yeah, this is because that empty line is because in file after every line one new line character will be there. Okay, as you know that in a text file after every line one new line character will be there, right? This print function also providing a new line. So both will provide new line, right? So you'll get two new lines. So you'll get empty line in between. Okay. So in order to avoid that, we can use end equal to empty quotes. Okay. Right. Right. So next is so this is actually we have another function called read lines. Okay. Read lines function is there. It will read entire lines and you will get a list of lines, list of lines from the file. Okay. So we have a read function, discuss read function, read line function, read lines function. Okay. So the read lines function returns a list of all the lines. Okay. So the final output will be getting a list format. In list format, every item is a line of text from the file. Okay. So next you can iterate every line using for loop. Okay. So hope it's you can understand from this sample program. Okay. So read lines returns a list, and from list we can iterate one by one. Okay, you'll get all the line by line. Okay, it will be printed. So that's all about how to read a data from a file. The next, the last topic is how to write data to a file. Okay. So writing data text to a file. Okay. To write, it's very simple. We have a write function. You can write any data, text data or numerical data you can write. But you have to open the file in a W mode, that is write mode. Okay. So let's see one example and we can try that. So next to code, we are going to create a new file and we are going to write data. Okay. So F is equal to open a new file I'm going to create. Okay. So for example, already we have sample.txt. I'm going to create a file called what to do? Data.txt. Okay. Data.txt. But in W mode. So if it is W mode, the file is not available inside this directory. It will create a new file. Okay. It will create a new file. To write, you have to use f.write and the data. Welcome to CSE. Some data we can keep on write. Okay. If you want new line, you can provide a /n and you can write some other data. This is a second line of text. Okay. So we return first line, welcome to CSE, second line of text. Okay. And one more line we'll write using f.write. So this topic is very simple, right? Just you have to remember two function, read function and write function. Okay. This is third line of text. Right. So next, after writing, you have to call close function. This is mandatory. This function is mandatory. You have to call close function. Okay. Right. So nothing has happened. But in the left side, you can see a file is created, data.txt. If you open the file, you can see the content over here. You can see that. And notice that the 3 line of text is written in the file data.txt. Okay. So for confirmation, you can also show some message, file writing completed, something like that. Okay, completed. So now I'm going to change the file name. Instead of this, I'll put csc.txt. CSC. Now a new file will be created called csc.txt. In the left side, you can see left side csc.txt. If you double click this, you can see the content is already right. It's written. So hope you can understand, right? So for writing there is only one function, write function. Okay, you can use that function many times with a new line character for multi in the next line. Okay, if you remove this new line character, the data will be written in the same line. Okay, continuously it will be written. You are supposed to pass wherever the new line character wherever it is needed. Okay, and this close function is very important. If you are not using close function, the data will be available in the buffer only. It will not be written in the file. Okay, the close function will do the final process. It will write the content in the file. Okay, final process. Okay, from buffer to the file, the real file. Okay, the write function first it will write the data to the buffer. Okay, so memory buffer. Okay, so from memory buffer the data will be sent to the real file by using close function. Okay, right. So that's all about how to write data in a file. Okay, so that is two. It's a very simple topic. Okay, only we have two topics: how to read data, how to write data. Okay, so quickly I'll just go through it. So first we discuss how to read data using open function, file name, R mode. R mode stands for reading mode. Okay, if the file is not available, you will get error here. Okay, so after opening the file, you have to call read function. It returns a string, and you can store the data, and you can print it. Okay, and after reading data, you can iterate as a character also in for loop. Okay, you can use for loop for iteration. Okay, right. And you can further filter also. For example, we discuss how to display vowels, right? So we can store vowels in a variable, and we can filter by using in operator after reading file content. Okay, so it's clear. Okay, and you can count vowels. Okay, you can count words also. You can count so many things you can do. Okay, using this. Okay, then how to read line by line using for loop, using read line function and read lines function. Okay, so finally we discuss how to write data in a file. Okay, so there is a function called write function. You can call many times, and with the /n you can write multiple lines of data. Finally you have to complete the writing process by calling f.close. Okay, so that function will finalize the task. Okay, so that's all about reading and writing data to text files. Okay, right. So if you have any